All right, for your health, we are 1 week away from the official start of winter, and public health officials are warning about a spike in norovirus. The California Department of Public Health says it has detected an increase in the virus in Southern California. Glendale Keppel Elementary School, in fact, had to postpone special activities this week after a group of students got sick. The school is not confirming an exact number of cases, but says they are working with the county health department and sanitizing classrooms as a precaution. A spike in the number of cases is really typical for this time of year, but doctors warn there is a new subvariant of the virus, the norovirus, and yes, this one is even worse. Joining me right now is nurse practitioner Alice Benjamin. Nurse Alice, thanks so much. First of all, if you could, explain what the norovirus is. What are some of the symptoms you would see?
Yes, so norovirus is a highly contagious gastrointestinal virus that affects the stomach and the intestines. It causes inflammation in the gut, which disrupts your digestion and fluid absorption. And so because of that, it causes symptoms very suddenly. You'll have intense nausea, vomiting, watery diarrhea, stomach cramping, and sometimes even a low-grade fever, body aches, and headaches. And so this happens very quickly. People get sick very, very fast. But on the flip side of this, most people will recover within 1 to 3 days of this.
How dangerous is this? And you talk about it being contagious. You actually were talking about it went through your family with your 2 sons.
Yes, so this is highly contagious. And my sons at the time were toddlers. And so people who are most prone to severe illness with this are infants, toddlers, and our seniors. And so my kids, their kids, my sons were having some diarrhea. And I, as a new mom, I thought, oh, diarrhea, it's, maybe it's the formula, maybe it's something else. But they had extended diarrhea that lasted beyond the 3 days. And so they quickly became dehydrated, not urinating as much. Even when they would cry, not as many tears. And so I got concerned about dehydration, brought them in, they got tested, and they had norovirus. So they had to be admitted and were given IV fluids, needed to monitor their electrolytes, because this is the dehydration that's a result of the norovirus is something that's very serious, because we need fluid and electrolytes for basic bodily functions, for our heart, for our brain, for our muscles. So it's something that we need to take very serious.
Well, I know when, because we had a case of norovirus at the house as well, when people get sick, the last thing they want to do is see food or any kind of liquid. How do you treat this?
Yeah, so the way that you treat this is that you actually need to rest. You need to be able to take in fluids, and we just manage the symptoms. Sometimes we'll give you anti-nausea medications to manage this. But here's the key, Colleen, if you can't keep fluids down, that is a key sign that you need to come to the emergency room and be seen by your doctor right away. Again, like I said, if you have diarrhea, a little bit of vomiting, give it about 3 days with some rest and some fluids. But if you're not able to keep any fluids down, or this extends beyond the 3 days, you absolutely need to be seen. You probably need some fluid and electrolytes, and we can give you some medication to help manage the nausea, and then do some testing to see could this be norovirus or is it something else? And then also we want to make sure that it's not affecting you systematically, like there might be other organs. Like I said, fluid and electrolytes are critical for bodily function. So we want to make sure that it doesn't go outside of just this GI issue and that it doesn't cause any further damage.
Is it rare to see a new strain like this?
Actually, no. Minor mutations actually happen continuously. New dominant strains can emerge every 2 to 4 years. But the reason why we're talking about that part is it's important is because immunity or antibodies to norovirus are very short-lived and they're strain specific. So when we fall out of immunity and there's a new strain, everyone can get sick and very quickly, which it sounds like it's happening in these schools. We're having breakouts and it happens mostly like in schools or in dorm rooms, places where there are large gatherings. So it's very important that we understand that there is no treatment, there is no vaccine. We have to manage symptoms, but prevention is key. And I want to make sure that I encourage everyone to please wash your hands. Alcohol sanitizer here is not strong enough to penetrate the norovirus, so it cannot kill it. So you need to do soap and water. The soap and water and the friction, it loosens the norovirus that's in our hand and it washes it off. The soap and water doesn't kill it, but it washes it off our hands. alcohol and most hand sanitizers do not kill the virus. So it's very important. Hand washing is going to be very key. Being mindful of touching surfaces like doorknobs when you're going to public restrooms, making sure that you wash your hands, and that if you're going to clean your surfaces and sanitize, you need to use a product that has bleach in it. Bleach is what will kill the virus. Again, not alcohol based.
Is it airborne? Will a mask make any difference at all, or is it mostly skin to skin or contact with something?
It's usually contact with something, so it's not airborne. So it's not like the flu or COVID or anything like that. It's contact with contaminated surfaces. So obviously, when there's infected stool or vomit there, very obvious we can see it. But we don't see that. If someone threw up somewhere and it was infected and I didn't see it, I come later and I touch that surface, then I can actually become infected with it. So you don't always have to see the stool or the infected vomit there, but it can live on surfaces for a fairly long time, especially in cold temperatures. It thrives and lets to live longer in our cold temperatures, which is another reason we see it a lot more during this time of year.
All right, Nurse Alice, as always, thank you. Appreciate it.
Wash your hands, everyone.
Well, take care.
Yeah.